I'm at a loss for words. I feel so like paralyzed to actually do this. I feel scared. I feel overwhelmed. I feel like I'm just not good enough to do it. And I know that I just need to. So, this is going to be me talking to my future self or making a prediction for the future. Okay? So, right now, it is. Let's see. Friday, August 8th, 2025. And let me walk you through where my life has been. I have been soul searching ever since I moved back from Seattle almost 3 years ago. And I feel as though I've found a bit of a stride. I worked for Geek Squad for a little while. It didn't work out for me. I tried to be a server and I just didn't feel like I was, working toward my potential to the extent that I want to. So I tried a job that I thought would do that better in first aid sales, and that job just sucked. I felt so soul sucking, and I just wasn't in my element at all. And so I thought, all right, let me leave this. Let me try to find my element, and I didn't. And I thought, okay, you know what? Maybe finding my element just isn't for me. Let me go try another job. And I went to this place that made felt wall coverings, and I felt worse than I did at the job before that. And so I left again, and that was 3 months ago. I think it was May 2nd that was my last day at that job. So it's been almost exactly 3 months since I left there. And it's been a slow road. That's the honest truth of it. And I've had some lows where I think, you know what, I've tried this I don't know how many times, where I've quit what I'm doing to try to make this happen and this work, and I've never done it. And so it's hard to feel motivated when that's been the case. But then I've had some lucky, bits of relief where I've found more time, and I don't feel like I have to rush myself as much. By the way, I want to give a quick shout out to the dogs. We have Zia right here, who's been kind of nauseous today. And we have Atari right there, who is just always very cute. They're both very cute, but these are my rocks right here. It's hard to feel motivated when that's been my reality, when that's been the case. And I know I am staring off in this direction. I'm not here a lot, and this is just what helps me speak. If I try to focus on that, sorry, ADHD is going crazy. I've had days where I feel like I can move the needle a little bit, and that's a phrase that I've happened upon a number of times. And I think it's a good way of looking at things. I don't have to go from the bottom of the mountain to the peak in a single push. You just have to make incremental steps, and that is how you ultimately get somewhere. And so, honestly, this is me trying to move that needle. But I've had days where I've done that, and I've given myself a bit of grace, and I've been able to say, you know what? It's okay. You're still on the path. You're doing your thing. You're a little bit ahead today than where you were yesterday. And whether that's getting my creative fire reignited or working on something. I'm working on a workshop right now with Santa Fe Workshops. Those little things help me feel like, okay, you can slow down. You're on your way to the peak. You are ahead of where you were 3 months ago. Am I where I hoped I would be? Not at all. I'm truthfully disappointed in myself of how I've handled the last 3 months. But I am finding gratitude in the fact that I am ahead of where I was when I started. And I have to be okay with that being enough, So that's where I'm sitting right now. I'm sitting in a place where I've felt demotivated. I felt down on myself, but I also have been able to find some gratitude and some grace and feel a bit better about things. So if I look forward to August, I'll probably publish this August 9th of 2026. Where do I hope I am? I'm making this because I saw Mr. Beast do it like 10 years ago, 12 years ago, whenever that was, when he was starting to make videos. He made some videos for, himself 1 year in the future, and then 5 and 10 and I don't know how many others. And I thought that would be a really interesting thing to look back on in a year, and I might choose to do a 5-year and a 10-year version of this. A year from now, I want to just still be on this path. I think that is the most important thing for me. I don't necessarily have to have attained some specific goal or some metric, but I think if I am still able to be pushing this needle forward a year from now, that's a really good sign. That means I haven't fully lost my motivation. I haven't hit a major roadblock that's caused me to go back to a 9 to 5 and, where I lose out on all of my free time to do this. That would be, I think, the minimum for me for where I'd be happy. So I hope a year from now, I am just still doing this. Hopefully, this video will be, how do I say this? Hopefully there will be a lot of other videos published on this channel prior to this one being published. That is the hope. Aside from that, though, I guess if I could be optimistic for a moment, I hope that I have, let's say, 3 in-person workshops scheduled probably in the 1 or 2 months prior to this, but maybe in August and September as well. And I have at least 1 student in each one. I hope I can go do some workshops and actually have some people attend them. I think that would be amazing. And I also think if I could have, let's say, 2 or 3 courses published, not including my astrophotography workshop course that I made 3 years ago, if I could have that a year from now, I think that would be really solid. On top of that, just to kind of place bets and see where things go, I think if I could have, 5,000 subscribers, I think that would be a really cool metric. I think if I could cross the 15,000 to 20,000 follower Instagram mark, because I'm right now sitting at 13.7 from my big blow up a couple years ago that, hasn't translated to anything. But if I could cross like 15,000 organically, I think that would be very cool. Across other pages, I don't care about those metrics as much, but if those followings on Facebook or on Reddit or X, Blue Sky, I'm probably missing one in there, maybe TikTok, if those followings grow as well, I think that'd be really cool, but I'm not going to attach any sort of number expectation to those. And I think that would be really cool. If I'm still doing this and I've found a bit of success with it, there's some markers to say, hey, you're doing well. And that is, being able to continue to make progress on this and have it resonate with the public. I think that'll be a great marker of, all right, you're doing good. I hope, my biggest fear is that between now and then, this crashes and burns and I'm doing a 9 to 5, 40 hours a week again. That's, I think, my biggest fear that I want to avoid. So a year from now, in 2025, when you are watching this, or however long in the future, well, let's think lofty for a second. Let's imagine that this is being watched in 2030. I just lost my entire train of thought. But let's just hope that by that point, things are very different than where they are now. My train of thought completely left my head in that moment. I don't know if you could tell. But it did. Yeah, I think that'd be very cool. So if you're watching this on August 9th, 2026, hello from the past. The world is a freaky place right now in a lot of different ways. I won't get into it. Hopefully the world has found a bit of healing in that time. If you're watching this after 2026, I hope that is also the case. But yeah, this is 2025 Dylan signing off, and we'll see you in 2026.